everybody, it is your host back from his long hiatus, Jason. And I know it's been a little hiatus. For y'all don't know, writing that book, so I said it's gonna be a little rocky. I know not having like a padre on here kind of makes it a little weird, but try my best. But anyway, that book comes out, it's gonna be something crazy. But anyway, back to what I was doing. Today's going to be a very special episode. We are going to be talking about slut-shaming. Simply because I had a conversation with my lady today and her sister about the concept of slut-shaming. Because, sex-wise, I'm very open-minded. So are they. All the good stuff. So I'm of the firm mind that men can do just as much as women. Women do as much as men when it comes to sex things. Meaning, having a number of partners it's fine for men and women. Now I do believe, now don't get twisted, women have to be a little bit safer than men do. Because, like, for example, a friend of mine caught a certain temporary STI, sexually transmitted infection. We've updated from STD. But anyway, she caught one that shows no real symptoms in men. It's called trick or something like that. Trichonoma, I don't know what to say, but yeah, it shows almost no symptoms in men, but a lot of symptoms in women. And there are some STIs that function like that, and some things that are easier for women to catch than men. So in that regard, they have to be a little bit safer. Then there's the whole pregnancy thing, and I do not believe we should put all the blame on women. Like, we should not put all the work on women. I think men should be just as responsible. I'm just saying, we're going to be honest and real here, and that women have to be a little bit safer overall than men because they have more risks. Like, that's just a fact that they have more risks. Is it fair? Absolutely not. But do they? Yeah, they do. And that is a big kicker. That's the big sad thing. They have more risks. Basically, all the risks that men have, add on a couple extra things, and then you have women. Hell, women can get yeast infections from sleeping with too many dudes. I didn't know this until recently, but like, one of my friends has she has a birth control in her arm, and obviously stops her from getting pregnant and regulates her period. Something that birth control does. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of people take birth control to regulate their period or to lessen it, things like that. Not just so they don't have babies, but anyway. So she has that in her arm. Now she messes with people who are clean. But she messes with people that like to come inside of her. Because she's big on that. She likes that. It's like the same two dudes, basically, that she talks to. And they come inside of her. The problem is, I didn't know this, but if you don't, douche yourself out or clean really thoroughly when dudes do that, though the vagina is a very amazing self-cleaning organ, it doesn't clean that. To where if you don't, it creates an odor because it's the mixing of their semen, which is wild. I didn't know that the fragments of it will sit there for a couple days. Because normally, if you mess with one dude, the fragments will sit there for a couple days and then dissipate over time. But it takes a couple days. So what happens is, if dude A comes in her on a Monday, and then dude B comes in her on a Wednesday, there's still some fragments of dude A in there, and they will mix and create an odor because your body is used to one of those things and is compensating and trying to get rid of that smell while compounding the second smell on top of it, making a new third smell, which is intense. Because she told me, just there next to me, "Can you smell me?" And I asked her, did she take a shower? She's like, "Yeah, I took a shower. It wasn't a thorough one." And I was like, "Yeah, I can still smell you. And it's not your normal smell." Because, everybody has their own normal smell. Even vaginas have their own normal smell. Like, I know my lady's vagina smell different than other people. Like, it's just a thing. Women have a lot of different smells. Vagina smell, their pores smell, hair smell, general skin. It's a lot of smells. And those together create their aroma. Same thing for dudes. Dudes have the same thing. We got our ball smell. All that stuff. Yeah, I know I just mentioned ball and just kept pushing. As a whole dude, I'm like, damn, this ball, I guess hair, skin, I don't know. Yes. But anyway, so what I was getting to, she's a very new age, liberated, sexually sexual being. So she can sleep with 2, 3 dudes, whatever. And I never judge her for it. A lot of people judge her for it. Her family will judge her for it. Her friends will judge her for it. I don't do that because why? Like, if she was a dude swinging his dick around, nobody would say anything. They'd make a joke like, oh, he a man-ho. It's the fact that we even call somebody a man-ho emphasizes that we view it differently. Ho automatically means girl. When you say, oh, that person's a hoe, people think girl. If you think you have to add the word man on it, people even assume that, oh, a dude's doing something bad? Or not bad, dude's doing something wild? It's crazy. Like, I guess because I've been in an open relationship years ago that I don't have that same hang-up. Yeah, I don't have that hang-up because I have been in one where it was one of those things where it's like open communication, kind of do what you want with some limitations. So let me break that down for people, how that works, right? A lot of times, open relationship, you're dating that person, that's your main person, but you're open to date other people, kind of like a polyamory kind of deal, but not as hardcore, if I may say. For example, I got my main, but I can date other people, but they can't like be in a whole relationship with other people, because that's polyamory. I'm talking about you can just like one night stand or have like a friendship that you sometimes smash. It's a lot of thin lines to separate these things, honestly. Like with a lot of these relationship, definition, it's a thin line. I mean, a lot of people add on extra rules to make it not so thin. Like with mine, in one of those cases where like when we started, we had rules. Friends you do certain things with, like if it was somebody you knew, you could give like, I could do like, we could both do like kissing and like head stuff with people that we knew personally. Like we knew them for some time. Strangers, that's all the way dead, none of that. And double wrap that bitch. Not actually double wrap, but emphasis. And with strangers, never do it at the house. Always have like security system in play, like, where's your address, things like that. A lot of times it's a public setting where we at least meet up, hang out, kind of deal. A whole bunch of rules, regulations. And we would decide before we even left the house, are we going to hook up with this person or not? Because you don't want to run in a situation where like you go on a date with somebody and then like he decides this ain't person for me, we ain't hooking up. Yeah, nah, what we do is we go to an open place, hang out, do all that stuff, chill, and then outside, you gonna hook up or not. And then we always do communication, things like that. And then we have what I like to call the blacklist. The blacklist of people that were absolute hail to the nas. I remember it very distinctly. My hail to the nas were, for her, basically 2 of her exes, essentially. Not because I had I had a personal problem with. The other one just seemed disrespectful. And I wasn't cool with that, and she totally understood that. Her hail to the nas was one of my exes and her sister. I wasn't into her sister like that, but she had the feeling that I was. So with the hail to the nas rules we set in place, you decide who's on that hail to the nas, and she decided that, and I can't argue with it, because honestly, when you think about it, if you argue with the hail to the nas, you're really backing up their claim to why they put them on the list in the first place, So I thought it was best just keep it on there, Anyway, back to the topic of slut-shaming. This is something we had to keep 100% secret from everyone in creation. Simply because, as a dude, it was like, oh, this is his way. He just trying to smash a bunch of chicks. My man, player, dap it up, all that stuff. As a girl, it's like, oh, she's just trying to be a ho-ho out here, just slanging it to every dude that she feeling. We could have the same number of people that we mess with. The same number. And it'd be construed differently. It's the wildest thing. Even, here's the craziest thing we realized, too. We were trying to talk to people. Meet the dude. I had to, a lot of time when we were looking for like a girl, like let's say we were into like watching and stuff. So with the girl, my girlfriend had to find the girl, because me as a dude, when I try to talk to a girl like on social media or whatnot, they would say, "Don't you have a girlfriend?" I'm like, yeah, she's cool with this, and then we always ran the risk of being exposed as a dude. On the flip, for her as a girl, dudes are messy. Dudes always ask for nudes. Dudes always ask for all this crazy stuff. There's a less chance of being exposed to a dude because they know that if they can get it from you, like, sex, some booty, if they can get it from you, they're going to get it, and they're not going to run the risk of losing that because they talking shit or they threatening to expose you. So for the most part, dudes just like cool with whatever, and they just let you just, they wouldn't expose you. But at the same time, you couldn't just send nudes over like, I don't know, Facebook or text message. Thank God there's like a Snapchat where you could send a nude, and the rules that we had was like no face shots and anything. If I saw a dick pic, no face shots, no discerning marks. They take off my discerning rings, things like that. Show the hand without tattoo stuff on it, like you discerning like an area that didn't have anything with a towel underneath, all that stuff. And a lot of work because you didn't want to get exposed as a dude. As a chick, yeah, no face either. Like you can show the butt cheeks, some tits, no face, no markers, no tattoos if you can help it. And if you had tattoos, cover that crap up unless you got like a stamp tramp. Then you just out of luck. Like it's just what it is. You just got to run the risk. You know what I mean? And that's what we did. That is exactly what we did. It was fun. We got out there. We had a good damn time. And people ask, well, how can you just do that? Blah blah. Bro, she watched me. Okay, here's the thing. When I say the term raw dog, because I'm about to say that, raw dog is my favorite term to use for sex. But it doesn't mean have sex with them raw for me. Raw dog just means I'm acting raw like a dog. I know that's a terrible name, but I've been using that term since I was like 18, so it's burned into my mind. So I'm just gonna use it. I want y'all to know it doesn't mean raw sex. All right, play. Yeah, no, dude. I was like she's seen me raw dog girls, and I've seen her like raw dog dudes. It's just kind of what we do because that's what we do and what we did. It was fun. Like it's fun. We got to experiment, all that good stuff. We always had the nuclear option of cutting it off completely. That's why we built a very specific system that allowed us to just simply cut off people whenever we need to cut them off without risk of making them mad. Fun thing about dudes is a lot of dudes, if you cut them off and you ain't really giving them nothing, they don't really expose you. And you just slowly cut them off. You be like, hey, don't get angry. Just be like, just slowly cut them off. A dude cutting off a chick is so trickier. That's why it's best to use Snapchat for all that conversations because screenshots are absolutely a thing. I had a whole system to describe. Like I would send a message and then wait the appropriate amount of time for them to disappear. I would send BS messages in between so they would open it thinking it's important, just so if they did take a snapshot, they didn't get anything important. Like it's a lot. Honestly, it's just best to just mess with friends. Like, be honest. Like, how people don't. It's okay to mess with friends as long as the lines are drawn. I would never recommend best friends, even though I've definitely done that, and I'm so open to doing that again in the future because I'm an idiot. Like, I'm an actual idiot because I make rules and I break them because, again, I'm stupid. But anyway. Yeah, and, like, it's so weird because, like, I've had people, like my friend's sister, who wants something crazy, like she wants a threesome with 2 dudes and a threesome with 2 girls. And the fact those are seen so differently. Like, we have developed society where if a girl wants to get eaten out while sucking some, that's cool. Or if she wants to get, plowed, have sex while eating a girl out, it's cool. But the second the girl wants to get tag team, it's not okay. She a ho-ho now. And even my girl now says that, yeah, if a girl really wants that, you in that freak ho stuff. And I think that's sad because human sexuality is something that it should be expressed how you want to express it. It shouldn't be something like, oh, you a ho-ho for doing this, or you a this for this, and this is this. Man, if a chick wants 2 vaginas, let her. She wants 2 poles, let her. Like, it's crazy because as dudes, we will watch 2 dudes like raw dog a girl in a porno and be cool with it. We may even finish, like, masturbate watching that stuff. But we gonna blame a girl? It's a crazy thing. I would never blame somebody for, I would never shame somebody for a porno that I actually watch. If I watch that genre of porn, I ain't gonna shame you for it. And don't get twisted. There's a lot of genres I don't watch. Just be honest. There's some that just like those some categories that you just gotta stay away from. But I just think that we shouldn't shame people for that. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, one of my female friends has a body count like in the 30s, and like we were like, man, she's walled out. Like, she hollowed out, man. And so that's what my friend told her. I was like, bro, your number's like 200. You have like a body count of 200. He was like, yeah? What's your point? Bro, I don't understand. Like, it's hard finding people you haven't slept with. It don't make no sense. And I'm not shaming him. It's just, you can't, there shouldn't be a 1-to-5 ratio. Like, a girl's allowed to have one. It feels like a girl's allowed to sleep with one body per 5 that a dude is with. And I guess because my body count ain't high, we've talked about this plenty of times, that I don't know. That's weird to me. Like, my body count is not high, believe that or not. Because the whole demisexual thing where it's like, I gotta know you, have some prior relationship with you, all that good stuff, you know. That's why the open thing was cool. Like, when I made the rules for that, like, I couldn't do one-night hookups. So I made the rules to encompass that for her. Which she really didn't do one-night hookups. She wasn't really cool with that. We mostly stayed to friends. Like, she did like one maybe, but we stayed to people that we knew, which is the best option. Like, it's the best and the worst option. It's the best for safety. It's the worst for feelings. Like, if you're doing it right, you don't catch feelings. If you're also doing it right, they may catch feelings, which is problematic. But it is what it is. Like, I don't know, man. I don't slut shame people. I don't try to do all that stuff because, of me, that's bullshit. Slut shaming is bullshit. It just really is. Like, people fuck. That's what they do. People like fucking in different ways. People like watching people fuck. I never understood why people do not like voyeurism. For you don't know, voyeurism is we watch people have sex. I absolutely love watching people have sex. It's the best. Because sex is clumsy. You know what sex is? Sex is when you do something clumsy together and you just kind of like, you have your moments where, oh my God, that's super hot. You're doing a great job. But it's mostly just two people bumping around in the dark until they get a move they really like. There's a lot of cramping, a lot of bending. Sex in movies, in pornos has been rehearsed to death. Where it's just like, we've practiced for 8 hours. Watch documentaries. They practice for hours to get like a 30-minute scene. It's like a movie. You have reshoots, fluffers, things like that. Real sex, listen, bro. I've watched a lot of people have sex. I have. And a lot of people boast that they got game and they can bust a girl down for 45 minutes to 2 hours or whatever. I've watched somebody try to show out. And I timed it to see what these people were talking about. Bro, the average is about a good 18 minutes. And you know what? That ain't even bad. Listen, I rock around a good 18, 19 minutes. Do all my good moves. You know, she came, once or twice. I at least make her come at least once or twice before I get mine. Bust out my fancy moves. And then I'm like, we gotta wrap this up. This ain't no marathon, right? Sex is supposed to be highlight reels. This is not no marathon. This is not no marathon. No. You highlight moves. And that's what I do. I hit it from the back. I pumped her up. Like, I know what moves she liked. Her favorite moves, I bust those out in succession. I knew her absolute favorite move. Finished on that thing. And listen, people try to do some crazy stuff. A lot of time, dog and missionary, get the job done. It really does. That long slow stroke, that'll get them. Come on, just ask the girl. It's what it is. But I don't get it, man. I don't get what people slut shame. Just let them do them. They being safe. They adults. Everybody legal. Everybody consenting. Let them do their thing. If a girl, because here's the thing, the vagina is a very elastic thing. So like, even if a girl had sex 100,000 times, you act like it's gonna be walled out. It's not, because that's not how the vagina work. It don't work like you can just be hauled out after 15 pumps or 15 dudes. 27 dudes can run a train on a girl, and in 3 days, her vagina will be back to normal. Now, buttholes are different. If you having anal sex, that shit don't pop back. It ain't supposed to pop back. Watch some pornos, man. Some people be for real hauled out. I'm just saying. Hold on. We're taking a break for word from our sponsor. There was supposed to be some ad there, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be one. So, well, it is what it is. But that's all good. We don't need that poppycock stuff here until, we do. Yeah. But anyway, when it comes down to stuff like that, I really look at it like this. I've run into many situations where I've had the option of slut-shaming somebody, where it's like, oh, well, they did this. Even my exes have cheated on me. I never really called them hoes or sluts or anything like that, because cheating is human. It's wrong. Don't get it twisted. It's wrong, but it's like hating somebody. It's just something that happens. It's a natural reaction to situations around you. Well, the hate is, not the cheating. The cheating is a product. It's a byproduct or after effect of a lot of variations, like your horniness, physical, mental, spiritual, all that stuff. It's a lot. So a lot of people think that when you cheat, it's just because you want some dick or whatever, and that's usually not what the situation calls for. You know what I mean? It's not exactly why something has happened. So I don't think people should be blamed for that. And I don't blame people for that. Like, yeah, you did it. It's wrong. I said on social media the other day that my capacity to forgive is high. My capacity to forget is low. And I think that's an accurate way of describing it, because I can forgive somebody real quick. But forgetting, that's a whole different ballgame, because forgetting requires me to not hold that against you in the terms of, like, that requires me to just let it roll off of me and just let it go to the point where, yeah, you've wronged me, but it's what it is, and just call it a day. And then we're back to reset. I don't think you should ever be back to reset when somebody breaks your heart or creeps or anything like that. I don't think I don't think that's something you should do that fast. And if you don't ever do it, that's fine too. With me, when I forgive you, I will not hold it against you, but I will also be cautious of that situation. Like, I'm not going to trust you the same way. Our relationship is now changed. It's now different because the factors have changed. Things have changed, That's just the end all to it. That's the over and under of it, And that's just what it is. That's all it can be. But when it comes to open relationship, slut shame, it all comes down to the level of trust you give your partner. Me personally, I give my partner a lot of trust. I have before in the past. This current one I have a lot of trust. So if it ever gone down to that road, I'd be understanding. I would be like, okay, what are the rules? What are the setups? I think I would adopt the same system I had with my ex. I think that's what I would actually do, because I think that is a smarter way of going about it, having a strict guidelines so you'll never be in a situation where you're confused. It's just like when you're just talking to somebody. You're just talking to somebody and you guys ain't serious. You're not serious. You're not together, so you're feeling each other out. A lot of people, when they're just talking, they try to come with like, all right, we're just talking, but are we talking to other people? We're like exclusive talking, and then like this baby steps to dating, so it's all about understanding. Same thing with like the slut shaming and over relationships like that. You have to have understanding of what's going on. Who are all the members of this arrangement? What are the rules? What are the limitations? The yes, no, all that stuff. You need to get all that stuff gathered up. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it's best to put a lot of work in the very beginning, like you're building a relationship. From the ground up, you have to get all those rules in the beginning laid out before you start anything. That way there are no confusion. So if anyone steps out of line, it's because they wanted to. They wanted to break the rules. They wanted to step out of a relationship, not that they didn't know what was going on. Because that happens in a lot of relationships. It's like, oh, I didn't know what was going on. This is not one of those cases. You see? In that regard, I would have to say that that's been I think we're going to wrap it up here. I'm your host, Jason. I want you to follow us on all social medias, Emotions and Podcasts, on any platform you use to listen to podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff, Google Play, all that wonderful stuff, all the social media, E&S Podcast on Facebook, Emotions and Podcast on Instagram, all that good stuff. check us out. Really and truly, I'm not even lying to you, not BSing, none of that stuff. You should really honestly check us out because it's worth your while. We have a good library of like informative things, goofy things, stuff that make you laugh, stuff that make you think. A mixture of it. We talk about relationships, sexuality, all kinds of crazy stuff. Just pretty much what pops on top of the head, you know. Got guests on here sometimes just me solo. But I promise you right now, I don't do that thing where some people do a solo podcast and they're just sitting there in silence for like 20 minutes, like and they're going and on a lot. I'll say from time to time. And I'll say, you know what I mean? Because I have that southern thing going on sometimes. Like, I don't really have a southern accent, but sometimes it pops out when I get excited or I get talking really fast where my words outpace my thoughts, if that makes sense. But, yeah, of course that makes sense. But anyway, that's what we do here. I don't like space in between thoughts. I don't like space in between episodes. I don't like an episode where it's like there's a lot of downtime between words. Makes these episodes hell to edit. But it's better to be hell to edit in a good product than just a half-ass product that's super easy to edit, you know what I mean? But on that note, I am your host, Jason, and I will see y'all wonderful people later. Goodbye. Laters.